as a father of 5, Aunt Middleton's latest project is a very personal one.
Knowing just how challenging it can be to help build children's resilience and confidence as they grow up. Mission Total Resilience is Aunt's first book dedicated to children. And Aunt joins us now to tell us more. Aunt, I mean, you've written a few motivational books.
Yep.
Why this one, and why is it aimed at children now? Why do you think it's so important?
Well, I'm a father of 5. I've got 5 children myself. And if I would have known what I know now, then maybe I wouldn't have made the bigger mistakes or the bigger failures in my life, you know, that I've been through. And this is just arming kids, you know, teens and going into adulthood with what it's like to fail, you know, what it's like to make mistakes. We all make mistakes. Failure isn't going anywhere. It's everyday part of our life. I've made mistakes and failed up to now in my life, and I'm going to fail to the day I die.
Oh, well, you've been very honest about those, and we'll come to those in just a minute. But as far as you were concerned, because you think with what you've achieved, you know, there's special forces, jumping out of helicopters, climbing Everest, all of that sort of stuff, that would have been born out of a very confident child. But that's not the case.
No, I was quite a shy kid. Steered away from failure, steered away from making mistakes. My father passed away when I was young, so we moved to France, you know, had a different school, a different upbringing, different culture. But I realised after time that change was really beneficial to who I am today. You know, change is really good. It keeps us on our toes. It gives us different strings to our bows. It exposes different emotions. And therefore, those different emotions, once you learn how to harness them and use them to your advantage, it will arm you in life for when the bigger sort of things come along, when you enter the big wide world, and a failure does come along, you know how to handle it.
Well, a big change, a big day for you, because you mentioned, you know, your father sadly died very young, and ending up in Normandy. That first day at school was quite a profound day for you.
Yeah, I went to school on the first day in France, and I couldn't speak the language. And we were late for school because our car broke down. So I ended up going into school having to explain myself. And I said a sort of phrase that I thought meant my car broke down, but it meant completely something different, where the whole class ended up laughing at me. And I can just remember going home that evening thinking, what is going on? I'm in a new school, I can't speak the language. I'm this new culture, new country, new stepfather in my life. And I decided there and then, when I went home and got into my den at the end of my garden, I thought, do you know what, just take each day as it comes. You know, how am I feeling? I couldn't understand the magnitude of the situation, but what I could understand was how I was feeling. And I started sort of thinking about my emotions. I started breaking down how I was feeling from a very young age. So I started self-reflecting from the age of 8 or 9. So I've had that psychological advantage on how I cope with things from such a young age. So the benefits of being honest with yourself and understanding about yourself and breaking down your emotions, it builds resilience, it builds capability, it builds self-belief. You know, and if I can sort of indoctrinate that into children from a young age, that it's OK to fail. If you don't make mistakes, you don't make nothing in life, then they don't steer away from it. A lot of children nowadays, they steer away from failure. They don't know what to say, they don't know how to act. So therefore, they stay stagnant. They press pause in their life. And it's not until they get out into the big, wide world when something big happens, or a big failure happens, that they don't know how to cope with it. They don't know how to manage it. So this book is basically arming them with a defence mechanism to not only be honest with yourself, but also to realise that failure is the biggest learning curve out there. Once you learn how to embrace it, you will grow from it, you will learn from it, and you will become a better version of who you are.
You've been really, really open and honest about your failures in the book, even talking about your time in prison. I mean, you would not be the Aunt Middleton you are today without all your experiences. But how did that shape you, your time in prison? That
was my biggest learning curve in life. You know, my biggest failure was going to prison, but boy, oh boy, was that my biggest learning curve. You know, why was I there? Talk about self-reflection, talk about, you know, holding yourself accountable. And ultimately, it's that. It's not passing the blame, not trying to, you know, bat it off as an excuse. Holding yourself accountable, being honest with yourself. Honestly, it will free you as an individual, but it's really hard to do. So when I went into prison, it was like, right, this is no doubt my biggest failure, but the biggest lesson that I've learned from it is understanding who I am, what I need to do differently, and attacking life differently. And it's changed me as an individual, and it's changed my life. So that's what I say to people: do not be scared of failure, because you will get your most valuable lessons from failure.
I like what you said when you said you should never feel embarrassed to have failed. It's part of life. It's like breathing.
It is. Well, I've failed up to now in my life, so have you, and you're going to fail to the day you die. That's a fact. It's everyday part of life, like breathing. So once you learn to acknowledge it and embrace it, you will see the valuable lessons that you can obtain from it, that you can get from failure.
One of the things, so you've got your missions.
Yeah, that's correct.
Here. But it's not a mission that you necessarily do in an afternoon. These are missions that could take weeks or months or years.
Yeah. This book is designed for you to revisit it. It's almost like, if I want it to be like a little Bible where they go back into it and they go, right, I'm going to tackle this mission this week or this month. And it's relatable. Everything that I put in that book, I've been through. I'm not an intellect. I'm not a bookworm as such, but I come from the University of Life. So hopefully kids can really, really relate to it and go, right, Ant's been through this. This is how he's got over it, and this is how I get through life. And I look at failure and I look at it and I really, really embrace it. It doesn't scare me. I think to myself, I don't get carried away with the destination, whether I succeed or not. It's all about the journey. It's all about the moment. It's all about collecting those small positive percentages. Whether you succeed or not, that's going to make you a better person.
At the moment, the journey and the destination is Australia.
Yes.
I mean, that's going very well.
Yeah, Australia. I love Australia. They're really laid back. It's like a big playground, it's huge. The weather's nice, which helps. But yeah, SAS Australia is going really, really well.
Well, you say that it's completely full on out there. We're watching a bit now. And you're setting fire to people.
Yeah, something that we probably won't get away with here. It's something that I've got a real good relationship with Channel 7 and the production team out there and the health and safety team. And it's something that I wanted to really...
Is that one of the recruits?
Yes, one of the recruits. That's the very first task, Phil. Very first task.
Wow.
I mean, well... Yeah, g'day, mate. How are you? Wow, a man's on fire. And so you're touring over there at the moment. For your fans here, are you coming back here and doing tours?
Yes,
here?
I've got a tour next year for the UK, but currently concentrating on Australia. I couldn't get to Perth because of the restrictions and the borders being closed, but now they're open, and New Zealand as well. I'm going to nip over to New Zealand whilst I'm there because it's just across.
Well, it's a very lovely part of the world to be concentrating on.
Yes, it is indeed.
Enjoy. In the meantime, Ant's book is Mission Total Resilience. You're Stronger Than You Think. That is the book, and that is out on Thursday, I think.
Very inspirational, yeah. Good luck with your tour, good luck with your book. Thank you, Ant.